Kaiser Glide was the most gifted adventurer of his generation, earning his adventurer's license like it was nothing. Then he sharpened sword skills under a master, pounded magic into shape with an ancient sage, and marched straight into the Adventurers Guild, chasing the dream of becoming the youngest S-ranker in history, until that moment. One day, everything about his life hit the wall and flipped upside down. He crashed into the chaos of a Ranko mission, and tore into the wyverns living inside that blazing volcano. Kaiser shrugged off the danger of going in solo and took the mission anyway, making it. Rain soaked the air with the wyvern's blood. Then, after Kaiser wiped out the last one, he snapped his sword back into its sheath. Kaiser pulled out a knife and hacked into the stuff he needed to haul back to the guild. Then, while he was scouring the dead wyverns for loot to cover his rent that was about to expire, he felt something move the wrong way right beside him. Then he shot his eyes upward and saw a huge cloud of dust hanging over the mountain, and the size of that wyvern hit him like a punch. Kaiser leaned in and realized this wasn't a wyvern at all, 4 legs, 2 massive wings, and right when it clicked in his mind, he knew. An S-rank ancient dragon, and he had just awakened it. Suddenly, the dragon ripped into the sky, and Kaiser just stared as it vanished. Then it clicked. It wasn't flying anywhere random. It was heading straight for the town under the volcano. So he sprinted straight after the dragon. Then Kaiser slammed on the brakes, eyes popping wide as his mind raced. What just happened? A dragon ripped into the village, and with every step, it tore through everything in its path, leaving nothing standing. As the dragon's victory roar shook the sky, Kaiser stood frozen, terror and disbelief tearing through him. Just then, the dragon exploded off the ground and vanished into the sky as Kaiser sprinted toward the ruins, only to freeze in disbelief at the destruction. So he tore through the wreckage, scanning for a single survivor, but the more he shouted, the more deafening the silence became. When the dust finally settled over the rubble, Kaiser stared in horror, unable to believe that nobody survived the wreckage. And then he blamed himself for not crushing the wyverns faster, because every second he lost left the ancient dragon still asleep inside his nightmare. Still, he had the credentials. A rank adventurer who was supposed to be the sword and magic prodigy everyone talked about. Kaiser raged at himself, certain it was his fault he couldn't protect the people. Kaiser finally gets it, he's about as useful as a glass hammer, and the moment the truth hits, his eyes spill tears as he sobs that he's a failure. Right then, a strange sound snaps his attention, So he bolted in that direction, racing to get a closer look. When he finally spotted the source, he ripped the rubble apart with shaking hands, praying a survivor was still buried in there. Driver, then out of nowhere, he freezes solid. When he spots 3 babies crying and tearing up. Up on the spot, relief hit him. He knew they were okay, so he snatched the babies close and rocked them in his arms. Kaiser finally stumbled onto survivors, clutched the babies to his chest, and swore he'd take full responsibility for them. The moment he slaps his name on that baby daddy contract. He swears to the villagers he couldn't save them, then storms away as the promise hangs in the air. So the kids grow up the right way. Right after he came back, everything flipped for Kaiser. Other adventurers pinned the village's destruction on him. The same people who used to hype him turned into secret trolls, and even while he was hustling his new side gig, his coworkers whispered that he failed to save everyone and that he'd gotten power drunk just because they once called him a prodigy. When he hears it, Kaiser feels personally attacked, but he can't fire back because they've got the facts on their side. Since he can't stop blaming himself more. For the little gremlins he'd just found, Kaiser went full dad mode and opened a daddy daycare. As he shoved his cart along, he got bumped by a friend who yanked him back with a call, asking if Kaiser actually planned to hang up his adventure life. Kaiser lashes himself with guilt, insisting he's not even worthy to call himself an adventurer, but his friend shuts him down fast, saying it's not true, and then she starts pushing him to see that it isn't his fault since the ancient dragon is an S-ranked monster so brutal he couldn't beat it no matter how hard he swung, so she quickly steps in, praising him as a real hero and gushing that he's been saved right on live. Kaiser replies that it finally feels good to hear from someone who doesn't think with their toes, and he even calls her a sweetie. Then, right after that, he decides he's going to be a baby daddy for life. While his friend gapes at him in total confusion, she nods like she gets it, then bows and lets him go. Kaiser always dreamed of becoming an S-ranked adventurer, but now that dream got totally crushed, because his new obsession is playing Father of the Year. Kaiser left the city and headed straight back to his hometown, determined to raise the girls far from the noise and crowds. The moment he arrived, locals stared like, "Did Amazon deliver babies instead of your pet order?" But then they flipped to full welcome mode. After he explained everything to the elders, he finally got the help he needed. Huddled in a tiny house right on the edge of town, Kaiser starts his new job with zero instruction manual, because this is his first real shot at fatherhood, too, and he's winging it. Tried to teach the girls early on, but they proved, loud and clear, why responsible reproduction matters. After being pounded with non-stop unhappy cries, Kaiser couldn't wait for them to grow up, and they shot up fast. 10 years later, the girls finally hit the age of reason. And Elsa, the oldest of the trio, was slicing circles around every kid her age with a sword, her blade skills so sharp they felt unreal, even at her young age. And every time she trained with Kaiser, he still whipped her stubborn little behind into shape. After getting beaten down, Elsa lashes out at herself, furious that she couldn't land even one solid hit. Still going all out, no breaks. Kaiser cuts in with a sharp grin, reminding her he's got 27 years of experience on his side, and she's still got a mountain to climb before she can even land a hit on him. She's shaken by the truth, but Kaiser still steps in to praise her. He praises her for leveling up fast with the sword, then pulls her to her feet and tells her, quietly but confidently, that she might one day become a better swordsman than him, and Elsa is so shocked she demands to know if he really means it. He rubs her head and tells her she can beat him, if she just doesn't quit, and he even thanks her for calling him father, but then he asks why she stopped calling him daddy like she used to. Elsa's stunned and she can barely keep her eyes steady. And then she blushed. "Do that? No way," she shot back, saying it would wreck her street cred as a swordsman and warrior. Kaiser, shocked too, pressed her, "So you really hate soft things?" Elsa fired back that even calling him father would make her look weak, and she doubled down, "Eating dessert is weakness, period, so." Kaiser groans that it's a pity apple pie was on the dessert table, and when he asks if she can still have something like that, Elsa's eyes suddenly sparkle with pure, hungry excitement. But then she reins herself in fast and shyly tells her she has to go soft, just for today. So Kaiser blares that they need to hunt down the ingredients, then turns to Elsa and begs her to ride along, and she agrees to go with him. Even with that attitude, Elsa is still a sweet, loving girl who. She always runs out to the garden to cheer Kaiser on while he sharpens his sword skills, and instead of cuddling bunnies, Elsa falls asleep with Kaiser's sword tucked right beside her. She spent those wild days as a little toddler, then somehow she grew into a young lady. On their way to the market, Elsa suddenly calls Kaiser. She blurts that she wants to become an adventurer just like him when she grows up, then slaps a hand to her chest and swears she'll beat the dragon Kaiser that crushed his hopes. Kaiser then leans in and gives her a sweet head rub, but his mind races with the truth. Being an adventurer is no joke, and the dangers waiting for her would be brutal. After weighing it all, Kaiser decides she should never tread in his footsteps. Then he realizes she has to choose her own path because he can't order her future around, so he locks in the deal. Win the next fencing tournament, and he'll hand her a blank check. A week later, the dust finally settled. In the fencing tournament, Elsa slashed her way past her opponent, disarming them in a flash, and the loser threw in the towel before she could chop him down. Right then, an announcement thundered out. Elsa had just won the year's tournament. The crowd went wild, trading stories about her past victories, convinced she was a straight-up genius with insane strength. They marched up to Kaiser to spell it out and praise how Elsa's talent came from his training, but Kaiser waved them off and insisted Elsa's gift was all her own. Right as they were talking, Elsa came sprinting in, medals raised high like a victory flag. Still gripping her medal tight, she rushes to tell Kaiser she crushed the tournament. Then he fires back, saying he'd been watching her insane swordsmanship, and he praises her for all the hard work that brought her here. Elsa vows to push herself harder since she's nowhere near his level yet, and Kaiser can't wait for the day she finally surpasses him. Then Elsa's tone snaps sharp as she demands, "Do you remember your promise?" Kaiser lines in and repeats it to her. She presses her on what she asked for, but Elsa shuts it down fast. It's a secret. Kaiser gently pats her head and she turns betrayed, laughing out a happy sound. Then, to celebrate Elsa's victory, Kaiser decides to make her favorite next for her. Dinner, and he even tells her she can grab more than one plate because it's a celebration. She's over the moon to hear that. She freaks out and blurts that she wants a tournament every single day, so she can eat rabbit stew every day, and Kaiser hears it and shoots back that nobody would dare challenge her if that ever happens. Then boom, someone yells for help, screaming that a monster has appeared in the village. Sensing the panic in the air, Kaiser whips his head around, spots where the voice came from, and tells Elsa to stay frozen in place and shut her mouth. Elsa snaps back and refuses to let him go alone. She decides to ride with him, and Kaiser just stares like, "What just happened?" Then Elsa smirks and tells him the truth. She can fight by his side now because she's the tournament champion. So Kaiser nods, then grips the moment, telling her to hang back behind him as they. Both of them rocket toward the scene and spot the beast seconds from ripping someone apart. So Kaiser orders Elsa to rescue the victim while he deals with the beast. but the moment he sees her, the beast's attention snaps to Elsa like a trap and lunges straight at her. Then, caught off guard by how huge and vicious the beast looks, Elsa plants herself, sword up, frozen in place. Just then, Kaiser snaps to it. Elsa's getting crushed under the pressure, so while the beast rockets toward her, he moves fast. He rockets forward and clamps onto the beast by its horns. Just as Elsa shrieks, the beast lunges and drives a blade straight into Kaiser's abdomen. Then Kaiser snarls at her to get behind him. While he battles the monster, Kaiser suddenly surges up to shield Elsa and stop her from getting hurt, raising the... A beast lunges as Elsa watches in shock, and it slams itself into the ground. Right after that, he rips into the beast with his bare hands, ends it for good, and strides away from the carcass like John Wick, only with even more explosions. He asks Elsa if she's hurt, but she can't look away from his wounds, so she chokes out an apology. Kaiser looks at her and tells her, "Don't stress, those metal dreams aren't all Kratos is." Then he ruffles her head like everything's gonna be okay. After that, he leans in and tells her the first fight is always the toughest, and warns her she'll have to grind for experience and get better one step at a time. With tears spilling down her face, Elsa blurts out, "Kaiser, are you scared of monsters?" And he admits they terrify him, because some of them are worse than anything he ever dreamed of, and he insists he still has to fight to protect. He decides to protect the people who matter most to him, and that's what steals his courage and keeps fear from winning. Elsa fires back, "I've got people to protect too." So Kaiser tells you to dedicate your sword to people like that. Right then, Elsa wipes away her tears and nods along with Kaiser. He immediately pitches dinner. As they start to head out, Kaiser tells himself her loss won't be for nothing. It'll hit like a lesson and light a fire under her to get stronger than she. Meanwhile, Anna takes a slow sip of tea, but her nerves spike. Kaiser and Elsa are way too late. With the fencing tournament already supposed to be over, Anna, knowing Elsa like she does, swears Elsa must have crushed it fast and can't stop worrying that something went wrong. She stretches, smiles, and swears they'll be fine, because as long as they're together, nothing can go wrong. Right then, Anna sprang to her feet and bolted out to the mine to check on what was going on. Back in town, the whole world finally comes to a stop, just long enough for everything to ignite again. After Kaiser finishes his shopping and double-checks his cart, Giselle praises him for getting rid of the monster and flat-out refuses his money for the food. So Kaiser quickly tells her he's not letting it slide because he wants to repay her for watching his house while he was gone. Giselle then leans in and tells everyone Kaiser has always been ruled by duty, especially ever since he took up his job as the village's guardian. Ever since that, the demon attacks have slowed down, and the harvest looks like it'll smash every record they've ever seen. Then Giselle leans in and tells him she heard Kaiser's running sword classes for the kids now. Kaiser confirms it and Giselle nods like, "Good, because if anything goes wrong, they'll be ready." After he hears that, he realizes he's got no choice. Those kids won't stop showing up at his house, begging him to teach them. Giselle then shoots back that Kaiser started out with a perfect win in his first fencing tournament, then got himself tossed from every event after that for leaving opponents on crutches and in wheelchairs, and she adds, "Me. I'd wreck my back trying to haul these ingredients like he does." Even with those strong arms, when Giselle says she wouldn't expect less from a former rank adventurer, Kaiser just shrugs it off, then tells her he's retired for good. Giselle's jaw drops. She's never heard of adventurers running a system like that, and he even says Kaiser would be welcomed back to the capital with open arms and could become an adventurer again in a heartbeat. But Kaiser won't budge. He's got plenty of estrogen at home, and he's building a whole skincare empire with it. Then Giselle's tone turns sharp. She demands to know whether he's told the girls the truth. Confused, Kaiser blurts what he's talking about, and Giselle snaps back that he's talking about the truth. Kaiser isn't their father at all. Right then, Kaiser cuts in and says he hasn't told them yet. But he figures he'll tell them when the time finally hits, until Giselle grabs his attention and warns him to picture the girls' faces when they learn he's not their real father. While Kaiser is processing it, Giselle jumps in and insists that hiding the truth is kindness too. Then Kaiser finally nods and agrees. He switches the conversation up by asking if he renovated the bar's interior, and Giselle answers that he changed it right after Anna told him to. He followed every one of her tips to the letter, and the bar exploded, more customers than ever before. She also tipped Giselle off that he was overpaying for his ingredients, so she marched right up to the vendor and haggled hard. Giselle says he's stunned they managed to talk it out without either of them snapping. Then he adds that Anna's going to be unbelievably talented from here on out. He needs to win her over while there's still time, because Kaiser quickly says Giselle still loves money just as much as ever, and their talk is just beginning. Elsa stormed in and shouted for Kaiser, and Kaiser immediately apologized for making her wait. then Elsa waved it off, saying she'd been busy training with her sword the whole time. So he tells Giselle to call him if she needs anything, and Giselle shoots Anna her regards. Right after that, on the way back home, Kaiser leans in and asks Elsa if she hit her daily quota. She nods and says yes. Then she confesses she's thinking about ramping up her training because she's been finishing by. Kaiser stops her mid-sentence and tells her not to push too hard because even the studies agree rest matters. As they're talking, they suddenly spot someone sprinting straight toward the. When the scared guy closes in, Qiuises spots it's a camel, and his stomach drops, wondering if some monster is hunting him right then. He catches up behind him and yells at Kaiser to lock down Camel, right now. Meanwhile, Camel clenches his fists for a fight and tells Kaiser to get out of his way, only for Kaiser to refuse and say he can't ignore his daughter's request, so Camel goes for a burst straight past him. Then they slam a hit into his leg, and he crashes down onto his back. When Anna finally catches up, Kaiser snaps, asking why Camel's bolting. Anna fires back that she decided to give him a little punishment for drinking and sneaking off in the middle of work, while Camel blurts that he can't help it. He can't breathe right in his own head, so he has to slam on the brakes for a quick breather every now and then, and the moment he hears it, he remembers. That's exactly what his break time is for. It also throws his work schedule back in his face, so when Camel spots her nerve, rage erupts, and he snaps that he'll work and head home whenever he damn well feels like it. Anna doesn't panic, she tells him straight, work when work time hits, rest when it's time to rest, or nothing gets done efficiently. Anna suddenly holds up Kaiser as the example and dares Camel to grind until he earns what Kaiser earns. Then Camel snaps and points at Kaiser, screaming that he's a total monster because Kaiser can do the work of 100 men by himself. He makes it clear if Camel wants to complain, he'd better bring results that are just as strong as Kaiser's. That infuriating Camel fires back, demanding to know what she really knows about their work. Then Anna starts bragging that ever since she got involved, she's been boosting the mine's profits. She threatens to quit the job and go straight to Camel's boss and his wife with everything she knows. This terrifies Camel to his very core, so he drops to his knees and begs Anna, promising that if she reports him, he'll lose his job and he won't see a cent from his wife either. Anna snaps at him to start working with no whining, and he nods and agrees. Anna snatches the moment back and tells him he's wasting his precious lunch, then orders him to run right back to work right now, as Camel hurriedly heads back. Anna stares at the ceiling, baffled. How can some grown-ups, unlike Kaiser, keep that baby brain sparkle? And then she reaches her throbbing head from the stress of babysitting a kid trapped in an adult's body. Kaiser tells her she must be wrecked every single day, running the mine and helping fix what the last typhoon smashed in the village. She snaps back that she's only helping because she was asked, and it'll come in handy when she finally joins the guild later. Just then Kaiser snaps back. Anna's dream isn't small. She wants to become a guild master, and Anna starts dropping hints that everyone keeps saying Elsa is only good for swinging a sword, like she'll have to handle everything alone. But Elsa shuts that down and swears she can do way more than just swing steel, and right then, Anna suddenly gets an Elsa face moment. He pokes her nose and grills her with questions about exactly how much she needs to live every month. Right then Elsa tries to crunch the numbers, but the moment she does, math hits her like a totally foreign tongue, and she cringes hard before throwing her hands up and giving up. Elsa let out a heavy, disappointed sigh, then jumped right back into her dream of helping adventurers like Kaiser as their guild master, while Kaiser, hearing it, ruffled Anna's head and told her she could do it, and Anna immediately turned bright red. Anna asks if Elsa and Kaiser are heading home, and Kaiser grins. Yeah, they're coming. Then he drops the real bomb. He's got plans to whip up apple pie for dessert because tonight's dinner is a celebration for Elsa. When Anna hears that, her excitement spills over and she blurts out whether Kaiser's the one doing it. Then when Kaiser nods, she declares she's going home with them. But Kaiser asks if she'll really be okay skipping work, and Anna yanks his arms like, relax, nothing beats your apple pie. That set Elsa off so hard she snaps, cheater, and Anna fires back, inviting Elsa to hurry join them because as they head home, they snatch Kaiser's arms like they're ready to drag him along, and Kaiser can't stop wondering if they're grown up enough to handle the truth. Just as they're heading out, a fish seller clocks Anna and Kaiser and shoves a fish into their hands, while Kaiser's mind screams, why would he do this? What did we do to deserve it? The man grins and says it's his way of saying thanks for Anna's help with fixing his expenses. As the man throws thanks Kaiser's way, his eyes snap back to the fish. Kaiser can't believe it. How could a young girl wield this kind of power over everyone around her? After a fresh round of gifts pours in from other people, Kaiser hauls himself home with crates of food stacked high, ready to unload them. While his daughters were trading numbers about how many gifts they scored, Kaiser decided to dive back into their menus and plan the whole week all over again. When they finally got home, they froze, because Merle's boots were sitting right there inside the house. So Kaiser swings her door open and boom, she's still tucked in bed, and Kaiser blurts that it's already evening while Anna winces at how her sister can be so lazy, and just as Kaiser lunges in and yanks her shoulder to wake her up, Merle slumps back and begs for 5 more minutes too. At this point, Kaiser snaps, refuses her request, then grabs her and shakes her hard until she jolts awake. Right then, she blurts out, "I'll get up if you give me a peck on my cheeks," because princesses don't wake until their prince gives them that kiss. Fuming, Elsa snaps at Merle and screams, "Stop messing with Kaiser," then adds the cold truth, her only throne is the one in the bathroom. Merle lunges in, yanks Elsa's clenched fists open, calls her a butt-clenched martinet, then snaps at Kaiser to hurry up and get the peck over with. So Kaiser swoops in and pecks Merle on the cheek, and she instantly blushes hard as he does it. Goes haywire, then she sits up, smirks, and tells everyone Kaiser was a killer kisser, making. The poor loner kept sweating down his face, then Merle leaned in and told Elsa to ask for a kiss too. Her heartbeat stumbled, and she suddenly blazed with glow like a bottle of hot sauce. Elsa snaps into a full-on freakout and tells Merle to shut it, because a swordsman doesn't need silly stuff like kisses. Eyeing Kaiser down, Merle throws her hands up and demands he get her out of her pajamas. Kaiser realizes she's in his shirt, and he immediately calls her out. Merle's spoiled enough, right? Then Anna snaps, asking if she seriously has no class at the magic school when Kaiser insists it's just because she loves Kaiser so much. What? Merle bursts into laughter and admits she ditched class, yet Anna snaps back that her tuition doesn't come for free. Merle snaps back that school is always a snooze when the whole class is full of dummies. Then she slaps her palms open, whips up ice on the spot, and declares she's already better than her magic teacher, and Kaiser can't believe it because he explains that ice magic is just a technical spin on water magic, then demands to know where she learned it. Merle then spills that she's been testing the water magic she snagged from Kaiser, and she's throwing it in your face while flashing her ice magic like it's no big deal. Merle jokes that she'd rather learn from Kaiser while flirting with him than go to class, and Anna snaps that Kaiser can't babysit her all day, he's got his own life to handle, so Merle should go to class like everyone else. Merle shoots it down hard, saying she'd rather stay home and flirt with her Kaiser, then Anna snaps, furious, and Anna yanks Merle by her ears. When Merle shrieks in pure pain, Anna snaps whether she'll go to school properly, and Merle swears she will. Staring down Kaiser, Anna tells him to relax. She'll make sure Merle shows up for school the responsible way. After this, Anna pitches the idea of dinner, and Murray blurts out what they're eating. So Kaiser grins and says they'll be having rabbit stew to celebrate Elsa's win, and when Merle asks if there'll be dessert, Kaiser promises them apple pie, and the second Merle hears it, her excitement bursts out and she starts dancing like crazy. Casier swears his apple pies are the best in the world. Then Anna snaps, fed up with all the drama, and declares that bad students who skip school don't get dessert. Suddenly Merle crumples into tears and begs, "Don't leave me out of the dessert plan," as she swears she'll do exactly what she's told. A few days later, someone swoops up to Kaiser at his workplace and yells that his shift is over, and Kaiser can't believe how fast the day vanished, so he decides to take a break and heads out, walking. He shoves himself away and drops into his seat. Now it clicks, harvest time is creeping up, and that's when monsters swarm the fields for the food they can steal. Kaiser remembers the last demon attack and realizes it wasn't random, it came hunting crops too. Then he sizes up the village and knows the truth. Even with sword skills, they'd never stand a chance against something that powerful. But since Kaiser stepped into the guardian role, he's been holding off every monster and taking extra steps to keep the village safe. Right then, Kaiser's eyes were shut over, and a voice cut in, daring him to guess who it was. Merrill shoots back that there's a whole mystery here, someone who loves him, but Kaiser can't pin it down because way too many people adore him. With a bunch of clues thrown at him, Kaiser still couldn't figure out who it was. Merle flashed a grin and introduced herself as the genius magician who loved him the most in the world. Then Kaiser yanked off her hands and snapped, "Nope, it has to be Merle." Kaiser catches the thrilled look on Merle's face and asks what has her so happy, and she blurts that it's because flirting with him is pure fun. Then Kaiser shoots back, "So why were you even out of school? It was still class time." Then he fires off, asking if she's skipping classes again, only for Merle to pull a goofy face and start making those weird, crazy sounds. Kaiser then leans in and reminds her of their promise to finally go to school the right way, then hits her with a harsher blow. Her teacher messaged him that Merle just sprawls into sleep and never listens a single second in class. And get this, she taps magic her teacher never even taught her during practice, then stomps him after every challenge. Merle fires back that she showed him who's stronger only because the teacher wouldn't stop nagging. Then she grins, patting herself on the back for beating her teacher badly, and when she turns to Kaiser for praise, he shuts her down. He can't praise her for something like that. Surprising Merle. After praising her skills, Kaiser leans in and tells her the real point of magic isn't to harm, it's to make people's lives better. Merle sinks with disappointment as Kaiser rips into his speech. Then a colleague barges in and interrupts, asking if he's headed home from work. Kaiser just nods, saying, "Yeah, I'm going." His colleague blurts out that this year's harvest is about to be the biggest they've ever seen, because the demons can't touch the crops. His colleague points at the magical fence Kaiser built and says it's been a lifesaver, and Merrill can't help but stare, confused, so Kaiser jumps in and explains. The fence is packed with lightning magic that zaps monsters with brutal jolts of electricity. Right when they try to smash the crops, Kaiser's colleague jumps in, saying it's brilliant, and he swears there's nothing better than watching that annoying monster snap around, bolt, and flee from the fence. Right after that, Kaiser's colleague swears he'll hand over some crops after the harvest, and then standing face to face with Merle, Kaiser tells her, "Don't you skip those veggies, eat up and grow big." The moment his colleague finally takes off, Caesar racks his brain for what he just said, and Merle says she finally gets what he meant, then asks Kaiser, "If I use my magic to help people, will you praise me?" And the moment Kaiser promises he will, Merle's face lights up as she vows to work her hardest to earn it. Just then, Kaiser yanks Merle to her feet, and a blazing hope hits him. If Merle learns to wield her magic for the people, the world is about to get a whole lot brighter. Meanwhile, Elsa and Anna huddle at the table, weighing every option, desperate to decide what to order. Kaiser threw the biggest birthday celebration ever for himself. Elsa warns them it'll blow up into a problem, because Kaiser never even mentions what he loves, and Anna nods right along, since their father never drank and never collected a thing. Just then, Elsa blurts out that they should go ask some of his friends for ideas, while Anna snaps back that she already tried that and it got them absolutely nothing. Elsa says they can't just question him, and Anna jumps in that she'd love to keep it a surprise, until Elsa suddenly pitches the idea, "Let's cook something for him, but Anna." She tells him it's safer if it's something he can keep, so they gamble on an accessory, and they slam their money down on the table. And realize their savings won't cut it right now, so while they scramble to figure out their next move. The door swings wide and Merle booms, "We're home," while Kaiser fixes his eyes on the coins and asks if they're up to something, and Elsa snaps back that she and Anna were just saving money, case closed. Kaiser lanes in and tells them to come find him the second they need anything. To pull Kaiser's focus, Anna blurts that Merle's supposed to be in school and demands why she's still at home. Then Merle snaps the moment Anna closes in, blurt spills that she has a real reason to be there, and while Anna tries to knock some sense into her, Kaiser steps in and tells Anna to stop treating her like some spoiled brat. Kaiser's convinced she'll never skip school again, and Merle can't stop spiraling over what he meant. Then he tells her she's found her calling with magic, and that the truly driven don't miss a single class. Anna had no clue what Kaiser meant either, but she chose to let Merle go, until Kaiser's words rang in her head, and she made it clear she'd punish Merle if she had to. Whenever she skips class, Merle flashes that smug little grin, swears she's about to do amazing things from here on out. Then out of nowhere, she swings a punch, grabs Merle's ear, and rips the moment out of the air. Merle screams through the pain, blurts out why Anna did it, and Anna snaps back that Merle's smug look was driving her nuts. Then Kaiser cuts in, says he's heading out to make dinner, and orders them to get along. The second he storms out, the conspiracy snaps right back into motion, and Merle steps in, grilling her sisters about what they're whispering, until they finally fill. They bring her in on the plan, then hit her with, "Got any ideas?" And Merle freezes, thinks for a bit, then blows it with a total emptiness of her own. Elsa and Anna don't even flinch at Merle's handicap, they just pivot to an accessory, and Anna races to call her connections while her sisters scramble to find another way. After some time, Anna tracks down one of her acquaintances who runs a shop in town and asks about the accessory. Then he nods and tells her he already has a chain he picked up from a peddler he dealt with. Then he adds, "I can't wear it and I can't hand it to my daughter either, she got married and vanished." While Anna just stares and drools over the necklace, the shop owner mutters that it's been sitting in his drawer, rotting under dust for ages. Just then Anna leans in and asks what he'd pay to take it off his hands, only for the store owner to blurt, "I'll give it to you for free, but I need a favor." When Anna presses him for details, he tells her the Harvest Festival is just a few days away, and every year his store runs a sale outside, meaning he wants her help to make it happen. With a busted leg, he can't possibly give customers the service they deserve. This big event is packed with people coming in fast, so he asks Anna and her sisters. At his store that day, he hears Anna gasp in surprise. The store owner swears he'll hand over the necklace after closing, and Anna's all in. She accepts the deal, and they set a meet-up for exactly 4 days later. 4 days later, Anna and her sisters stride toward the store, and then Merle blurts out if they're really working the festival, missing out on sweets too. Elsa snaps back that Merle has to grin and take it for the whole day, because they're doing this for Kaiser, and then she basically tells her to grow up and drop the obsession with candy. Merle blurts that she's just a weak little kid who wants to gorge on sweets. Then she smiles and thinks she'll probably be obsessed with sugary treats until she dies, while Elsa insists she's trying to get her to. Then they storm into the store and run into the owner, who blurts out that everything's ready, and right after that, his daughter steps forward to greet the girls. Anna stared in shock and blurted out, asking if anyone else was already coming to help. Then the shop owner admitted he personally invited them, because he refused to let just anyone step in. Then he blurts out that they're gorgeous and will pull in customers, unlike his own daughter, who is not cut out for the job. That insult snaps her fuse. She slams her hand on the table and apologizes to the girls for her dad's selfish demand. Anna quickly waves it off, saying it's fine, because this work will be valuable experience for them too. So the girl drags them into the store, then proudly declares she's got something she wants them to wear. A few moments later, the three sisters were suddenly dressed like sales girls, and the man's daughter couldn't contain her excitement when she saw them. She blurted out that these were the outfits she'd worn for past festivals, and right then the sisters looked absolutely stunning. Then the shop owner booms that he'll finally open up for the festival, so he orders the sisters to wait outside, and while the festival rages on with crowds weaving everywhere. Biaser patrols the town, baffled at the crazy crowd pouring into the festival, and then it hits him. This year's harvest is the biggest the town has ever seen. Suddenly he spots a crowd and his curiosity explodes. What's happening at the store? So he pushes closer to see for himself, and right in front of the crowd, Pfizer's daughters hawk Storman's goods to the masses. Kaiser starts wondering why his daughters are stuck working as salespeople. Then Merle spots him in the crowd and rushes over like, "Hey, you're here." Meanwhile, Anna swears Kaiser looked like the guy running village security for the festival, and when Kaiser confirms it, he pushes, "So why are you selling instead?" Merle nearly blurts the truth, but she clamps her mouth shut just in time. Elsa shrugs and says she just wanted to feel what it's like to sell things for once, and then the store owner clocks Kaiser, panics, and apologizes for borrowing his daughters for a little while. Kaiser thanked the girls for busting their butts and asked the store owner if they weren't giving him too much trouble. Then the owner admitted his own daughter was helping too, but he couldn't shake the worry about how the sales would turn out. Right then the store owner's daughter bursts in, locks eyes with Kaiser, and quizzes him about how his daughter suddenly looks so different. So Kaiser grins and says the outfit fits them perfectly, sending blushes rushing over their faces. Right then the store owner waves the girls off, go hit the festival for a while. The store's finally calmed down, and just as they're about to head out, Merle suddenly goes full hyper and blurts that she's starving after a long day at work. When they hear that, Elsa blurts out that she just ran into the nearby store and grabbed a bite. Anna cuts in with a grin, saying Merle's crazy eye-catching charm is what pulled in all those customers. Then Kaiser steps up to his daughters and promises he'll buy anything they want because they worked so hard, right before Anna turns it around and asks if he really doesn't have to go back to work. Kaiser shrugs and says he was only taking a quick stroll around the festival to see how everything was going. Then, right as they say their goodbyes to the store owner, they all bolt out together to hit the festival and have a blast. Right then Merle shoots Kaiser a grip with both hands and slips in, "This is a date," and Kaiser freaks out, so Elsa snaps, "Stop it," because the very idea of a father-daughter date makes her ears itch, but Merle just smirks and insists she's thinking about way bigger things. Right then Elsa went all in on Merle, laying into her and preaching about how society hates that kind of behavior, but Merle didn't even flinch. Kaiser just watched the whole squabble, grin growing as he enjoyed the show. He stared at the girls who used to be so tiny and realized they're running a shop on their own now, and then the gut punch landed. In 4 years they'll be 14, and when they do, they'll head for the capital to chase the life they've chosen. So they're sure everything will be fine, without him lifting a finger. The next day he bursts through the door, scans the place, nothing but silence, so he paces around, baffled, wondering where everyone disappeared, because those girls shouldn't have been free today. Then suddenly, the girls popped out of nowhere and erupted into a happy birthday scream, and Kaiser froze, completely stunned. So Elsa says they decided to throw him a party instead of drowning his DMs with wishes like they always do. Then Anna jumps in, thrilled, saying they've got a birthday present ready too. So Merle yanks out the chain, calls everyone out, and says they busted their butts to snag him his present, because the moment they handed the chain to Kaiser, it was all meant for him. He let his soft side slip out, and the girls instantly wondered if something was wrong. Then Kaiser reassured them, "I'm fine," while admitting he wasn't old enough to stop the tears yet. He thanks them for the gift and asks to put it on right now. Then Meryl steps in, offering to help him with a hand. As she snaps the chain around his neck, Kaiser smugly thinks he'll send them off in 4 years with zero drama. Then it hits him. He'll miss them like crazy. So when they show up with his birthday cake, Kaiser finally realizes he can't just walk away from the village he's vowed to protect. Once he blows out the candles, Kaiser turns around and decides to give the girls as much as he can. He clings to love and affection as long as he can, until the moment they're forced to leave. After a while, a growling beast barrels toward Kaiser, and he just stays cool as he snaps that the thing's lively, but it picked the wrong opponent. Elsa bursts in and slams a slap across the face, hard. Is the beast, sword in hand, ripping through the night. After a few brutal swings, Elsa finally sheathes her sword and kites. Elsa praises her for slamming that beast with one brutal strike, and then she turns around and thanks Kaiser for the training that got her there. And it drags her back to the day she froze in front of that beast 4 years ago. Now she swears she can't stand staying still when there are people she has to shield, and Kaiser pushes her to never erase that first gut punch feeling, even if she's fully grown now. 4 years have slammed by since Elsa froze in front of the monster, and now. The girls are just 14, and Elsa has fully chosen the sword's path, taking the techniques she learned from Kaiser, twisting them into her own style, and even stepping up as a fearless guardian as monster attacks crash in. As they rush back home, Kaiser blurts out that he heard she crushed the swordsmanship tournament again. Then Elsa jumps in, grinning, and says it's her 4th straight win, and she laughs that she finally got banned and was totally delighted to be. Just like Kaiser, as she lights up with excitement, Kaiser cuts in and says she's probably the only person on Earth who could actually be happy about something like that. They sprint back home then the second they arrive. Anna and Merle stepped up and welcomed them in. Announced dinner was ready, and when Merle lies through her teeth and claims she helped cook, Anna shoots back that she must have just been there to carry the food. Anna's now running the show with pure management and negotiation magic, so well that the whole village's finances are thriving, and they straight up named a holiday after her. But Merle. She's still acting like that same spoiled girl who keeps dodging her magic training. She just decided to finally use her magic to help people instead of chasing selfish wins. Right then Merle jumps in and shouts that she uncovered a hot spring vein with earth magic, and now the village is getting a whole hot spring. So yes, she demands everyone shower her with praise. Kaiser praises her too, and before it can all get too celebratory, Anna chimes in. A hot spring district will pull in more visitors, but it'll also crank up monster attacks, so Kaiser had better watch himself. Kaiser quickly tells her, "Don't worry, I'm in my 30s, and then casually proves that his pecs and abs are still rock solid like always. After that, Kaiser blurts that he can't wait to taste Anna's cooking, then Anna shoots back that it's just a copy of his. Then it hits Kaiser, tomorrow his daughters will head for the capital, because once you turn 14, you finally get your chance to work. Elsa threw caution to the wind and chose the adventurer's road, same vibe as Kaiser, while Anna chased a guild master's path and Merle dove straight into the magician's way. Even though she's being told to stay the freeloader, Kaiser suddenly turns and asks, "Are you girls ready for tomorrow?" Anna snaps back that they're nowhere near it. Packing is like moving out of a whole house. Right on cue, Elsa tells Kaiser to go take a bath because they're still not done prepping. Then Kaiser heads to the... And then he makes them promise they don't leave a single thing behind. Then he storms out while his daughters stare after him with. Kaiser sank into the bath, and just a few moments later, he started tearing into himself for the one thing he couldn't do, telling the girls he wasn't their father. For the past 4 years, he's lost count of how many times he tried to tell the girls, then every single time, he just couldn't get the words out. As he reels over what kind of people his real parents must be, the door suddenly swings open, and he yanks the towel off his face to stare straight at who just walked in. Right then, his daughters barreled in and announced, "We're coming in for..." Bath 2, Kaiser nearly lost it when he saw their assets in crisp HD, like the whole thing just got upgraded in his hands. He turns his face and thinks the girls are preparing for tomorrow, and right then Elsa blurts out, "Can I wash your back? I want to repay you for teaching me how to use the sword." When Kaiser tries to argue, he caves and offers to wash her back instead. Right then, Merle pipes up that she wants to join too. Elsa tells Kaiser, "Don't you dare turn around, no matter what." Then as she washes his back, she asks how it feels, and Kaiser answers, "It feels like I've become a whole new person." Merle blurts, "It's my turn," but Anna yanks her hair hard to shut her down. Merle presses Anna on why she did it, and Anna snaps back that she's trying to ruin the moment right there in front of Kaiser, because she doesn't want her pocket-sized asset stealing the spotlight, Then she warns Merle not to humiliate Kaiser too hard, claims she's suddenly freezing, and urges them all to bunch together. So they all piled into the bath and scrubbed Kaiser's back clean. But the girls won't shut up. Every second turns into a shouting match over who's showing off the most, and it all spirals into pointless accusations. And it orders her sisters to shut up and rinse off. So they all go for it and soak up the moment in the bath. Then Merle turns to Kai and blurts, "Wait, can I ask you something?" He can't go, he flat out refuses, saying he's got a guardian's duty to protect the village, and that he's been handed even more jobs to handle. Merle fires back that she'll be utterly lonely, she can't live without him, and then adds that she'll stay in the village too, because if Kaiser is staying, so is she. Anna tells Merle to pack up and head for the capital, because the village life will turn her into a full-on freeloader, and the world out there won't be gentle. Then she faces Kaiser and promises, full in earnest, that Merle won't make a huge mess, plus she'll send him a letter every month to keep him updated on how they're. Kaiser grins and tells everyone to relax, he's got peace of mind, because she's right there with her sisters. As everyone hauls themselves out of the bath, Kaiser can't stop thinking about how his little girls have grown, so he pulls them all into bed together. Next day the ride finally pulls up to the capital, and the driver calls out that they're ready, time to roll. So Kaiser just stares at his girls like he's locked in for what comes next, and tells them to take care of themselves. Then, right on cue, they turn around and tell him to do the same. Once they step into the carriage, Merle grins and promises she'll come home every week, ready to get spoiled. So they waved him goodbye and he wished them a killer trip. As the carriage rumbles out of town and Kaiser keeps his eyes locked, Giselle barges in and whispers, "Tell me, doesn't it feel like a weight just slipped off your shoulder?" Kaiser shoots back that he doesn't know, not yet. Giselle then praises him for his solid work over the last 14 years, and in that instant Kaiser realizes just how fast time flew. Then Giselle gives him a friendly pat and teases that he must have gotten old if he's saying stuff like that. Meanwhile, in the carriage, Elsa's face is stone cold, so Anna snaps that while Merle dreams of heading back home every single week, Elsa's about to fall into a deep funk. Then Elsa grabs her sword tight and insists, "I'm fine." Then she drops this bombshell. Kaiser actually trusted them to chase their dreams, so there's zero reason for her to sink into depression. Anna shoots back that she's right, and Merle just keeps doing what she does. Years later, a carriage. While he drives toward the capital, he can't help but gawk at how much the roads have improved over the years. And then, right when Kaiser shows up, he turns to him and asks what he thinks, and Kaiser answers by telling him, "I think the same thing." Right then, the carriage driver flips the question to Kaiser, "Why are you headed for the capital?" And Kaiser answers, dead serious, "My daughter lives there, so I'm moving in with her." The driver blinks in shock, then grins. Wow, she must be gorgeous if her old man looks that good. Meanwhile, Kaiser can't stop thinking about how long it's been since he shoved those girls off to the capital. A month ago, right there on the job with Giselle. Kaiser finally got a letter from the girls, tore it open, and the moment it hit the page, everything changed. Giselle claimed it was just the usual letter and asked if the ladies were doing okay, and Kaiser admitted they were fine, so Giselle pressed, "Are they still begging you to move to the capital with them?" Kaiser smirked and said, "They've been asking for months." When Giselle heard that, she snapped at Kaiser to pack up and move to the capital, right to live with his daughter. Kaiser fretted over the village, so Giselle's sudden idea shocked him. Then she asked what truly had him on edge, reminding him the guardians were trained and the field stayed safe behind the lightning magic fence, all while Kaiser brooded in silence, and when Giselle pulled out his smoke, she pointed straight at the truth. Kaiser was itching to reach the capital. Giselle tells him you could have left for the hospital, but then reminds Kaiser he can't because the village needs him, yet she praises his righteousness and adds, "Your life is still yours to choose." After sitting in silence a little longer, Kaiser thanked Giselle so he decided to chase his fate back to the capital again, and right then, the carriage driver spots a bunch of guys up ahead along there. They blurt, "Who are you?" and stare in disbelief. Then right on cue, the guys slam the carriage to a stop, because Kaiser spots their flag and realizes they've got to be from the chivalric order. One of the knights blurts out an apology for stopping them, then explains the road ahead is under watch because a man named Kaiser is about to arrive, so he demands their passes. The moment Kaiser hears that, his eyes narrow. What are the Kingdom Knights doing here, and why do they feel like they're hunting him? Because 18 years after that incident, he strolls in with a chip on his shoulder, convinced his awful reputation already arrived first. Then Kaiser scans the knights' faces, praying they're not really here to drag him away. So the knight quizzes Kaiser, demanding to know his name, if he's really an adventurer, and Kaiser shoots back that he's exactly the man they've been hunting. Then the knight snaps to attention and signals the other knights while Kaiser lunges for his sword, so then The knights snap into a salute for Kaiser and burst out, "We've been waiting for you." Stunned, Kaiser can't help but wonder why they're not arresting him, then Elsa shouts Kaiser's name while he came barreling toward him, waving like he was trying to get his attention at any cost. When Kaiser finally spots her, he can't believe what he's seeing. Elsa rockets into his arms and tells him she's missed him like crazy, after a quick father-daughter moment. Right then, Kaiser leaned in and said he'd read it in her letter. She'd risen all the way to Knight Commander. Right then, Elsa reveals she's now an S-rank adventurer, and the Knights Order of Wagenstein Kingdom's 15th generation commander. Kaiser is blown away by how hard she's pushed, so he praises her for turning that dream into reality, and Elsa can't help but blush. Right then, Kaiser grabs her attention and thanks her for coming to pick him up, but the moment the car door shuts, he shoots back. Why did they come all the way out here, so far from the capital, to get him? Elsa says the guild sent them to take down a wyvern, so after it was defeated, they figured they'd wait for him. Then just as they were talking, one of the knights barreled up and ordered them to leave right now, and Kaiser hurriedly thanked the carriage driver and slapped the cash into his hands as payment. Moments later, they tore back toward the capital, and the knights cornered Kaiser. "So it's true, Elsa never managed to land a sword hit on you," and Kaiser answered, confirming it. The knights were stunned, because if even the youngest S-rank adventurer and the knight commander couldn't land a strike on him, then Kaiser's swordsmanship had to be unreal. Meanwhile, Kaiser leans in and tells Elsa that when she was 14, she might have been swinging blind, landing no real hits. But now he's not so sure, because the moment they step into the capital, Kaiser suddenly gets nostalgic, then leans in and fires off a question about Anna and Merle. Elsa shoots back that Anna's swamped with guild duties, and she's furious because Merle was supposed to tag along and welcome him. Right then, Kaiser goes, "If we can't find her, she's probably asleep," and when he asks whether Merle actually attends the Magic Academy, Elsa answers without hesitation, she's a scholarship student there. And just like that, she scores a bed and free food. Kaiser hears it and bursts into laughter, calling it the best deal she could have ever hoped for, and then Elsa turns to him and asks what he's planning to do next. He says he's thinking about getting a job, but first he needs somewhere to sleep, so he plans to stay at an inn for now. Then Elsa drops the bombshell. Merle already lined everything up, and she'll be gone from the dorm the moment she hears he's headed to the capital. So Kaiser pushes for them to grab a house ASAP, because if Merle moves in with him at the inn, his life turns into misery overnight. When Kaiser snaps that they're running out of time, Elsa flashes a grin and says she'll handle it. Right then, Kaiser leans in and asks if she's got a plan, and Elsa admits renting a house will cost a fortune, but tells him not to sweat the money. Then he leaned in and told her, with her referral, he'd get a house completely free. Kaiser was stunned, so he didn't waste time and said he'd take whatever he could get. Next, he asked what houses were even on the table, and Elsa flipped through a pamphlet until she found the options. A few places tucked away in both the aristocratic and residential districts. So they decide to go investigate those things. Right after that, they rolled into the residential district. Kaiser and Elsa rushed through the rooms, testing every corner and feature of the house. Just then, Kaiser shot a glare out the window as Elsa pitched using the second and third floors as rooms for everyone, and Kaiser latched onto the idea fast, because with everyone tucked in comfortably, this plan was a win. Right then, Elsa pings an idea. Let's hit the aristocratic district and see those houses, and they hurry over, stepping inside. A night watch snaps Elsa awake, and Kaiser blurts that he's never once stepped foot in the aristocratic district. Then he presses, "Do people even keep guard there?" Elsa grins and says if trouble shows up, the knights will come sprinting to handle it. Soon as they roll up outside that massive building, they take one look inside, and Kaiser's like, "Yep, this place is straight up pure luxury." So he stops mid-thought, weighing both paths, when bam, screeching screams tear through the air, and he hears someone yelling at a boy. Then she shoots him a miserable little apology, before chewing the boy out for sneaking into the aristocratic district when he's supposed to be from the residential side. She even snaps that he's probably trying to steal something just because he's a poor peasant. But the boy fires back that he isn't a thief, he's hunting for his dog, which bolted straight into the aristocratic district. As he's in the middle of explaining, the boy spots his dog out of nowhere and rushes to grab it, while the woman snaps that the dog's just as filthy as its owner. Right then, the dog comes trotting up to her, and she snaps her foot out and kicks it away, so the boy stares and asks why she did that, and she Spawn snarled that no filthy creature like that should even get near her. This aristocratic district wasn't built for peasants. Suddenly, the woman yells for the knights to drive the peasants out. Then her eyes snap to Elsa, and she gets knocked back hard. After that, she demands to know why Elsa is in her neighborhood. Elsa breaks it down. She and her dad are hunting for a place to live, but when she faces Kaiser and tells him how good-looking he is, Kaiser just dodges with a vague answer. Then he blurts out that they already scouted both spots, the fancy aristocrat district and the regular residential one, and now he can't decide where to settle, and the woman snaps back that someone like Elsa has no right to live anywhere near the peasants. She adds that if Kaiser chooses to settle in the aristocratic district, she'll have neighbors to deal with, but Kaiser snaps back that he's already decided on the residential district instead. So she grills Kaiser, asking why he'd be excited to live as neighbors, but the second the idea of sharing her neighborhood hits him, disgust floods him nonstop. Kaiser then lays it on her straight: decency can't be bought, no matter how much money you throw at it. Once they're gone, Kaiser leans in and apologizes to Elsa for snapping off like a runaway rifle, deciding on the spot without even checking with her. Elsa waves it off and says, "It's fine, I felt that way too," and before you know it, they just decided to turn around and head back into the residential district. Meanwhile, Merle sets up a mind-blowing magic show in some hidden spot. In the middle of the city, everyone crowds around, their jaws dropping as they watch her unbelievable tricks. Kaiser and Elsa roamed the city, stumbled on a tight little crowd, and just had to ask what the heck was going on, so they pushed in. He pushes closer, and right when he does, Kaiser spots Marilyn's stage. She's about to unveil her final trick, and the whole crowd can't contain their excitement. Suddenly, she ripped off a jaw-dropping trick, and the crowd erupted as she juggled tons of balls. When it was over, Merle held out her bag and told everyone to tip her if they wanted to. While Kaiser and Elsa cringe at their relative begging for handouts, Merle boldly rubs it in and shamelessly cheers her side. Just then, Kaiser rings Merle, and Elsa blurts that she's finally awake. When she sees them, she lights up, waves them over, and says, "Good morning." Then Kaiser catches her and blurts, "It's already afternoon." Then he presses her about why she's doing a street show, so Merle admits she only did it to kill time since neither of them had been around. Right then, she swings a bag stuffed with coins and brags that her performance raked in tips. Then Elsa leans in and asks Merle if she wants a steady job, since her skills could take her anywhere, and Merle flat out refuses. And she admits she's totally fine being a cute freeloader. Then Elsa quizzes Merle on how she's so sure they'll end up there, and Merle answers with a grin, saying, Elsa had a whole list of possible houses, convinced Kaiser would pick the spot right between the residential and aristocratic districts. Then Kaiser pulls Merle aside and asks if she'd rather live in the aristocratic area, and she answers. She loves money, but the moment someone flaunts it like they're better than everyone else, she can't stand them. Right then, she lunges into Kaiser's arms and blurts that she'll go wherever he goes, no questions asked. Merle adds that she hasn't sniffed Kaiser in forever, and Kaiser just shoots back that it's only been a week. Merle confesses that if she doesn't get a whiff of him at least once a week, she'll die, so they soak up their mini-reunion until a call for help blares, and Kaiser immediately bolts to check it out. Then he slams a finger toward the nearby fountain's magic relic, saying it's drained of power, and if nothing changes, water will turn into a scarce treasure. Right then, Kaiser grinds on the problem in his head, but Elsa snaps to Merle and asks what to do. Then Merle laughs it off, saying it's a simple fix that can be. They crack the problem by dumping fresh magic into the device, rebooting its pumping power. Then Kaiser jumps up to handle it. But the guy shuts him down fast, saying the last time it took 5 top-tier wizards the whole day to recharge. Before it escalates, Merle steps in and tells him to calm down. Kaiser's magic power dwarfs even the royal palace wizards. Then, out of nowhere, he slams his hand onto the device. Charged up the whole fountain, then boom, the pumping system kicked back to life, and the crowd erupted in pure awe. After this, the man bows to Kaiser and blurts out, "So, you're Merle's father." When Kaiser confirms it, the man turns straight to Merle and thanks her from the common folk because Kaiser hears that his magical devices are helping the common folk, and he instantly gives Merle a big head rub while everyone around them gushes about how much better their lives have gotten. After the man thanks him, Kaiser leans back and watches him walk off, then praises Merle for casting her magic for the people, right as she lights up and blurts out if she's a. Kaiser leans in and tells her, "I'm proud I get to brag about a daughter like you." Right then it hits Kaiser should scoop Anna up while they unpack his luggage, so the girls quickly pressure him into it, convinced Anna will light up the moment she sees him. And he pushed toward the Adventurers Guild, one place he hadn't stepped into for 18 long years. As he stands in the doorway, memories slam in. 18 years ago, he got insulted while he was leaving that building. Then panic spikes when he thinks about stepping back in, and guard suddenly barks, "Move, you skinny butt, and get out of the way." What? So Kaiser swallows his pride, bows, and apologizes. Then the door shuts for good, and Kaiser has to pump himself up just to find the nerve to speak. So the moment he swings the door open, he freezes, because there's a ton of. He clocks all the commotion and concludes he's only there to pick up his daughter, then shrugs like, Come on, 18 years have passed, nobody's going to remember me. Just then Kaiser yanked up a lady and stopped her in her tracks. She blinked and asked how she could help, and Kaiser leaned in to ask if Anna was. Kaiser spins around and the lady blurts out that Anna's back in the room, then offers to help with anything he needs. Kaiser snaps that he's only there to pick Anna up and the girl freezes, stunned. He gets asked if he's Anna's boyfriend. Before Kaiser can even open his mouth, the woman launches into full-blown drama and Kaiser finally figures out why you never, ever underestimate anyone, then drops the bomb. He's Anna's dad and he just moved to the capital. The lady blurts that he's the rumored Kaiser, and when he's left scratching his head, she fires back everything she's heard from Anna about her dad, then throws one last punchline. Anna is the fastest adventurer to ever climb the ranks. Guild. After that, the lady leans in and says Kaiser has to be incredible, because Anna would only talk about someone truly special. She's singing his praises while Kaiser's trying to figure out why she can't stop staring at him, and the lady just shrugs, saying Kaiser is every bit as young and cool as the rumors claim, unlike her own dad, who's basically a dead-on copy of a retired sumo wrestler, and then just. The lady snaps that Kaiser looks nothing like Anna, and Kaiser's whole body tenses up in an instant. Then the lady gushes that they're basically the same, because both are drop-dead gorgeous, right as she keeps yapping, and a furious voice snaps from behind them, and when they turned, they saw a guard slam his fist on the counter and bark, demanding to take a request. Then Anna steps in and calmly talks him down. Telling him the offer's only for rank adventurers, he still slaps him with the truth. He's just a beer anchor, and then it hits, suddenly. Guard growls at Anna to save the day by ranking herself up as an adventurer, but Anna snaps back that rules and ads exist for a reason, and that with his current skills, he can't pull off what he's asking. Anna snaps that she'd rather not send anyone hunting for his corpse, and that sets the guard off. He barrels straight in, slaps his face, and screams at her like, "Do you really think I'm a fool?" Exhausted, Anna snaps that it's always the weak ones, clueless about their own strength, who come crying to her over stuff like that, right then. She glances over her shoulder and catches Kaiser grinning at her with a sly half-smile. Anna steps up and dares guard to arm wrestle Kaiser, promising to hand him the prize if he wins. Then the second guard finally clocks who she is. She snaps. Kaiser used to be an adventurer, but he's been out of the game for ages, and you can practically feel the rust in his grip. So Anna tells him he's not strong enough to take the request if he loses to Kaiser, and guard, buzzing with excitement, laughs and throws down a challenge. Kaiser, he dares him to an arm wrestle, and the shock hits when his little scheme actually pulls off. Slip in, slip out, Kaiser snaps up the challenge, while guard flexes that hulking arm like it's begging for a fight. Arms. Right after that, they drop a table between them and Kaiser can't stop thinking, has the adventurer standard jumped since he walked away? So he finally makes his move. To go all out against his opponent, but while Kaiser pleads with the guard to pull his punches, the guard struts in like he owns the place, then they lock hands and step into the duel. Suddenly the shots get recalled, and Kaiser slams guard's arm into the table so viciously that guard rockets into the air, then crashes onto the ground on his back while everyone stares. Anna raises her voice and declares Kaiser the winner, and as the crowd erupts, everyone buzzes over what they just witnessed, wondering if Kaiser is even human. So Anna looms over the guard and demands to know if he finally understands her better now. Later on the way home, Anna grabs Kaiser's attention and thanks him for saving her at the guild. Then Kaiser fires back, asking what she would have done if he'd lost the match. Anna flashes a confident smile and declares there's no way he can possibly lose. Kaiser stares in shock and blurts out whether she's talking as a guild master or as his daughter. Anna just laughs and says, both. Soon enough, Elsa and Merle snapped with fury as they greeted Kaiser and Anna back. Home, meanwhile, Anna grips Kaiser's arm and flashes a grin as she declares they're here. Then sparks and lightning erupt around. In the room, Elsa and Merle snapped at Anna for holding hands with Kaiser, laying out every reason it's wrong, until Anna finally said. She calls out their BS, swears it's totally normal for parents to hold hands with their daughters, and Anna adds that her sisters have zero common sense, so yeah, of course they'd act like that. Then Elsa snaps, clenches her fist, and tension hits the air. She blurts that she won't miss a single moment of this bonding, because she's been waiting for 4 whole years. Then Murray just freezes with a hurt stare, feeling totally left out, and bursts forward to slam into Kaiser and sniff him all over. Right then she blurts that she's only joking, then calls her sisters cultured for using the moment to mess with her textures. Elsa suddenly shuts down, steps back, and shoots Kaiser an apology right in the middle of it. She stood there like some old street lamp from another century. Then Elsa snapped, accusing Anna of starting it first, and Anna shot back that she thinks Kaiser's a real gentleman and wondered why it wouldn't be normal to hold a man like him. While Elsa totally freaks out, she snaps that Anna should stop teasing her sister. Then Anna shoots back with an apology as Mary. Anna clung to Kaiser with a death grip, and when Kaiser demanded to know if she really meant it, she snapped it off, "It's nothing," and immediately steered the moment toward dinner. Suddenly Merle blurts that her stomach is growling, and Kaiser declares he's about to cook dinner. Then when she asks what they're having, he grins and says, "Rabbit stew." Then he tells the girls to go change while he whips up dinner. A few moments later, Kaiser slices up the ingredients and starts cooking dinner like it's showtime. Right when the food finally hits the table, Kaiser blurts, "It's ready," and the girl show up and gush over Kaiser's cooking after this. They bless the food and dive in, freaking out over how insanely delicious it tastes. Then, out of nowhere, Elsa praises Kaiser's cooking skills, then blurts out that nothing and no one can ever measure up to it. Right then, Anna blurts that if she comes home to Kaiser's meals every single day, she'll end up feeling pointless. No way she wants to get left behind. Then Merle snaps back that she's always been useless and she's totally fine with staying that way. While his girls shower him with praise for doing everything, Kaiser snaps, "That's not true." He claims Elsa is a knight commander with real leadership power who can rally and command a whole unit, while Anna is a guild master who can seize control and run entire organizations like a boss. And Merle is a magical device inventor who ignites a tech revolution, reshaping people's lives and bending the future itself toward a history-changing breakthrough. Kaiser admits he can't do all of it, but he still loves his daughters like any proud father would. Yet Anna snaps that he's doing exactly what he always does, and Elsa pushes, asking if Kaiser knows anyone who can help them land a job. Kaiser snaps back that when he was younger, he barely built any connections because he was too busy living the adventure life, so now he's totally cool with taking on any kind of work. Right then, Elsa blurted out that the whole Knight's Order was begging for him to be their instructor, so Kaiser snapped in shock, asking what they could possibly see in him, while Anna shrugged and said it was obvious. They wanted to become a great swordsman just like him. Then she adds this, Elsa tells her how he trained her in every move she knows with the sword, so it makes total sense that they'd all want him teaching them too. Elsa then tells them she got the king's okay and he can start tomorrow, and Anna quickly adds that honestly, it's not a terrible deal at all. Kaiser reassures him he's the right guy for the job, then Anna blazes in and says she needs Kaiser's help for the guild too. When Kaiser asks what she means, she tells him the guild's drowning in requests and they're short on people for the big, high-ranked missions, so she begs him to jump in, especially since he wasn't ranked before. Kaiser dodges it with a jaw-dropper. He's been inactive for at least 18 years. But Anna insists it's no big deal, because he just crushed a B-rank adventurer right there at the guild. After that, Anna swears the guild has been packed with adventurers, but none of them have been as skilled as Kaiser. Kaiser fidgets with her praise, still awkward, yet he keeps letting the compliments land. Right then, Kaiser offers to help her, but Merle snaps into action and orders Kaiser to do street performances with her, because she's ready to launch a troupe and rake in a fortune. Still, Kaiser doubts it will actually work. Anna jumps in, saying she's got to hit school hard and graduate before all of that. Later, inside Wagenstein Castle, Elsa ushers Kaiser through every room like he's about to uncover secrets, and drags him straight to the barracks, now his brand new workplace, and once they roll up, Elsa snaps orders and tells the knights to pack in around her. So they rushed over and greeted her. After she fires up the knights with a train-hard speech, Elsa turns to the group and announces she's got a new instructor for the next few days. Then she steps forward and introduces Kaiser as her father, and Kaiser pick up from there and he tells the knights, "I'm still training too," then pushes them to team up and sharpen their sword skills. So when Kaiser finally starts, he declares they'll begin with. Right then, during the warm-up, one of the knights cuts in and demands a quick word, like, could he spare him a moment? Right then, the knight steps forward and demands a mock battle, because Elsa won't stop bragging about Kaiser's powers, but her adventure rank is higher, so the knight says, "I want to see what Kaiser can really do before I teach you anything." What? Elsa lashes out to light up the knight, but Kaiser shrugs and tells her it's totally fine. And it hits them with this, since it's been ages since they last mock battled, he's been won. Wondering how unstoppable Elsa has become, so Kaiser grills Elsa to show him her power as an S-rank adventurer, so when she hears his challenge, Elsa's mind spirals back to her old status in the village, because 4 brutal years in the capital have forged her, and then she presses down her doubts, reminding herself she's not the same girl anymore since she became an S-rank adventurer and the knight's commander too, Then she decides she's done playing around. She's going to go for the perfect match and beat Kaiser because, with her thoughts crashing in, Kaiser dares her to step up and throw everything she's got straight at him. Meanwhile, Elsa swears nobody in the capital can match Kaiser since she arrived, so she yanks out her sword, convinced her little tricks won't faze him, and then decides to stop hesitating and charge straight at him. Elsa storms into the fight at Kaiser, then swings her sword, only for Kaiser to twist out of the way like nothing changed, and she realizes he's still lightning fast. So she unleashes a flurry of attacks on him, but Kaiser shuts every swing down, one block after another. Surprising Elsa, he proved he could handle that too despite. Still, Elsa won't back down. She snaps her sword forward and drives it straight at Kaiser. But he snaps out of the way, plants his hands to steady himself, and then smashes Elsa's grip with a vicious kick to her hand. But Elsa's sword rockets out of her hands. She freezes, realizing she just screwed up. Then Kaiser explodes into an attack barrage, and somehow Elsa slips every hit and snatches her blade back. Kaiser barrels in right away, leaving her with zero time to catch her breath. So they keep trading blows with their swords, but Kaiser barrels through and leaves Elsa completely overpowered. Finally, Elsa gets a shot to breathe for once. Throws her opponent. Right then, she gasps. Kaiser is every bit as ridiculously strong as she'd hoped. Suddenly, Kaiser explodes forward and charges at her with brutal speed and raw power, making Elsa finally see just how extraordinary he really is. Then she can't help wondering why he never once clawed his way into becoming an S-rank adventurer. After Elsa realizes she's not good enough, even with all her training, to be on par with him, Kaiser swings in with a brutal kick that hits her with full force, even while he's an S-rank adventurer and the knight's commander. Elsa can't stop wondering what move could possibly help her win. Meanwhile, Kaiser stands tall and unshaken, sword stretched out in front of him like a promise. Right then, she realizes the mock battle isn't something she should fight to the death, so she shrugs and decides it truly doesn't matter if she wins or loses. After this, Anna puts two and two together. Kaiser isn't just visiting, he's checking to see how much his daughter has grown. So she powers up and unleashes a blistering explosive attack on Kaiser. Right then, she erupts into a scream and vows she'll smash her way through with everything she's got. Just like that, suddenly, the father and daughter slam into each other, and a massive blast erupts inside. The crashing wind slammed into the walls of the barracks, blasting straight into everyone like a furious wave. When the smoke finally vanishes, the stunned knights just stare in shock, begging the same question: who in the world hauled an RPG into a sword fight? While everyone starts buzzing about who won the duel, the dust finally clears and they spot. Kaiser pressed his sword to Elsa's neck, then snapped, "It's over." So he yanks his sword away from Elsa and tells her that her final attack was incredible. Then she slumps and insists it was her best swing, yet it still didn't land a single blow. Right then, she lets out a bitter laugh, admits she's beaten, and even praises Kaiser's raw strength until he hears the Kaiser says it because he never skips a single training day, and he's honestly shocked by how much better Elsa's gotten. Then he spells it out. Her sword snapped only because it was wooden, and if it had been a real blade, they would have been dead even. Right after Kaiser gently rubs her head and tells her he's proud, bam, knights crash in, and suddenly they're fawning over her like she's royalty. Kaiser stumbles into the moment, awkwardly blurts out a thanks, and then Elsa can barely contain her excitement after Kaiser praises her, but deep down, she still knows she's got a long, hard road before she can ever become like him. So she decides to live with the distance, and right then, Elsa cuts in, announcing that now that they've seen Kaiser's abilities, that knight has to learn from him so the nation's power can skyrocket. Hearing that, the knights start salivating over all the cheeks they'll clap once they become master swordsmen. Meanwhile, Kaiser throws down, saying he's taking them to hell and back, and he wants to know if they can keep up together. The knights swear they'll give it everything they've got, so Kaiser. They say they're kicking things off with a warm-up exercise. They crank through 20 laps around the castle in full armor. Then, just like that, the thrill drained off their faces. After the warm-ups, the knights drop to the ground and groan that they're done with it all, like their cursed lives might finally flip into some Superman-style legend. Right then, Kaiser steps in, praises them for holding it together, and lays it out. If you're going to be a swordsman, you need the stamina to march. And it's not just about knowing how to swing a sword, so he slams the plan down. They're warming up every single day. Then he hits them with the next bombshell and says they're jumping straight into muscle training, leaving them totally stunned. Then he declares they're about to smash through 500 push-ups, sit-ups, back crunches, and sword swings, shocked at how huge it sounds, until one knight asks if he's off by just one digit, and the other jumps in to back him up. Just then Elsa snaps, asking Kaiser why he's going so easy on them, while the knight that number hits way too hard, and it jolts Kaiser because back in the village, her training was brutal beyond this. Kaiser swallows his pride, apologizes, and then goes for a brutal 1,000-swing assault. Then he admits he planned to start calm and easy, slowly training the knights to accept it, yet the knights are freaking out. because the non-stop talk between father and daughter makes them swear they just signed their own death certificate. Right then, Kaiser snaps his command, "Knights, get up and stop running." Just a few moments later, the knights crumpled from pure exhaustion, and the rest could barely raise their swords because it hit them like a gut punch. A genius isn't born, it's forged, and that training is absolutely brutal. Meanwhile, Kaiser snaps that their normal isn't like anyone else's, and Elsa can't deny it. Elsa admits that when she finally reached the city, she was shocked to find the knight training everyone swore was brutally strict felt almost effortless, so she's making it clear that her sessions with Kaiser are definitely out of the ordinary. Kaiser insists the training isn't that brutal, then a female knight snaps into pace, matching every sword swing, and Kaiser starts. Just then he blurts out that the girls are doing great, so Elsa fires back, "My name is Natalie." A rising knight in the order keeps chasing Elsa for sword practice, begging her to join him every time. Amazed by what he just witnessed, Kaiser slams his hand down and says it's time to wrap this up. Then he orders everyone to pair off. As they scramble into teams, Kaiser even jokes that they can pair up with him too, but the rest of his words cut off mid-sentence. Knights tremble at his name, so they refuse to team up with him, because even with a wooden sword in his hands, he might still wipe them out. When Kaiser realizes nobody will team up with him, he shifts gears and starts teaching them. Then Natalie barges in out of nowhere and demands to be paired with Kaiser. So he takes her proposal and grins, saying he can't wait to train with her. Meanwhile, the other knights stare at Natalie like she's daring fate, wondering if she's got a death wish after they lock in their positions. Kaiser calls them out to get moving and dares Natalie to step up and come at him. Just then, Natalie lunges at Kaiser, and in the snap of a second, he finally gets why Elsa says she's got real potential, while, as the duel keeps raging on, Kaiser locks in on her stance and the fire in her eyes. So he figures Elsa's got some seriously strong people under her. Suddenly he yanks his sword free, convinced Natalie is worth teaching. Then, in the blink of an eye, Kaiser knocks her down, then shoots in, asking if she's okay as soon as she hits the ground. Natalie claims he's insanely strong and that swinging 3 swords at once is straight up unfair. Then Kaiser, shocked, snaps back that she'd be amazed if she saw it, because any normal swordsman would drop instantly, clueless about what even struck him. After thanking him, Natalie leans in and blurts out that it's so frustrating, because she really went for the kill with that punch, and she's been training for years just to pull it off. Then he hears it and snaps back that they're only just meeting, so he asks what she's talking about. Natalie answers fast. She heard all about him from Elsa. Since Elsa's dead issues run deep, she can't stop bringing up Kaiser, ever. Then Natalie jumps in, saying she wanted to take a shot at him because she honestly admires Elsa, especially since Elsa's been so fired up, yet she's never managed to land a hit on him. He snaps at Kaiser that she's wrong, then lays out, plain and brutal, exactly why Kaiser can't help thinking Elsa would fall head over heels for her if she ever landed a hit on someone she's never managed to tag, while he's still reeling from what he just heard. Natalie swears she planned to beg Kaiser for his daughter if she won, and Kaiser made sure by asking right back. Asks Natalie what kind of liking she means, and Natalie snaps that she wants to do some nasty stuff to Kaiser's daughter, basically confirming every terrible thought he had. After daydreaming, Natalie declares that they'll marry someday and build a happy family. Then Kaiser leans in and asks Natalie what she wants to do. Elsa blurts out that she likes her, every single thing about her. So Natalie gushes about everything awesome Elsa can do, and Kaiser just stares, fully blown away. Suddenly, Natalie snaps that she'll never forgive Kaiser, because he stole Elsa right out from under her. While Kaiser's brain reels at what that even means, Natalie drops the bombshell. Elsa packed up and left the dorms because he decided to move to the capital, and before that, they always hit the baths together. Then they started goofing around, squeezing every last drop from their oranges. Then out of nowhere, Elsa strides right up to Kaiser and Natalie, and then blurts what happened, because they look like they're 1 second away from throwing down. Natalie denies it and Kaiser shoots it down too, insisting they were talking about the sword, so Elsa grins, praises Natalie, and tells her to learn from Kaiser before she walks off. As Natalie watches Elsa storm out, her heart flatlines when Kaiser leans in and tells her, straight up, that she's a whole different person the second she talks to him. After this, he promises he'll back Natalie from the shadows too, because every last person has someone they're crazy about. Natalie demands his address, smirks, and spills the plan. She's sneaking in under cover of night, and when Natalie blurts that she wants to make sure she said the right thing, then tries to wiggle out by claiming she's terrible with words, and that she doesn't even have the confidence to win Elsa's heart, but Kaiser instantly clocks what she's doing and demands to know how any of that connects to sneaking into his house. Natalie's already spinning a plan. She thinks she can trap Elsa's mind and body by dragging her to the point of no return. but Kaiser snaps to it, realizes she's lost in her own delusions, and scrambles to figure out what to do before things spiral out of control. When Kaiser snaps that he can't just ignore someone creeping in after dark, Natalie fires back that love always throws obstacles in your path, and she basically hints that Elsa will love her even more if she refuses to let Kaiser's disapproval stand in the way. Natalie demands Kaiser kiss her on the lips, and Kaiser just shoots back, "Wait, what's that even for?" Natalie snaps back and says he must have kissed Elsa when she was little, so it would count as an indirect kiss. Then she grabs Kaiser and demands to know what kind of soap Elsa uses. When Kaiser questions why, Natalie grins and lays it out. If you eat the soap of the person you like, it'll make you feel like you're united with them. Kaiser then shuts it down cold, telling Natalie he won't let any of that slide, and pushing her to figure out the right way to approach Elsa. Later, back at the house, Kaiser flips through some papers when Elsa bursts in and says she's heading for the bath, so Kaiser tells her to take her time and soak in warm, slow water. Just then Kaiser's suspicions ignite. He snaps to the window and checks outside, convinced he just saw Natalie, yet he snaps out of it, deciding she's not crazy enough to track them all the way home. As he wrestles with what Natalie's really thinking, Elsa clocks Kaiser's strange mood and blurts, "Something wrong." Kaiser shrugs it off, asks if they can hit the bath together, and Elsa lights up, saying she'd be honored to do it. Right after that, they both stripped down, and Kaiser swore Natalie would try to sneak a peek while Elsa bathed, so he cooked up a scheme to scare her off by pretending he and Elsa always soaked together. Just after that, while they're in the bath, Elsa offers to scrub Kaiser's back, and he brushes her off, saying he doesn't need it, so Elsa won't let it go, presses in closer, and starts showering him with compliments. He scrubbed at his back when, just like that, Kaiser felt a presence lurking outside his window, and warns Elsa to be careful, right as everything suddenly goes sideways. Finally, they both crash onto the bathroom floor, and Elsa snatches her milk cannons while spilling to Kaiser that she's embarrassed out of her mind. Right then, Kaiser whips to the window and catches Natalie peeking in. So he tosses his towel aside to give her a clear look at something way better. He was completely crushed by the sight of Kaiser's dragon. Natalie crashes out the window, screaming at the top of her lungs, and a wave of relief hits her like, "We finally beat evil." Kaiser snaps his head to Elsa and demands to know if she's hurt. Elsa snaps at him to cover up his junk, and Kaiser immediately throws out a full-on apology.